what happened?
So I'll explain. Okay. You didn't see it, ne?
No.
When? The McG.
We are. I mean, it's just
Okay.
we have a lot.
Shabalala,
We have a lot going on.
Are we good?
Khona. Go business.
Uzelu umsebenzi.
Nami ngokwemisebenzi ngempela.
All right. Hey, what's good? What's happening? We are. Ayisho njalo.
It's in.
We are back.
And the NH, man.
Back with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, we are back again with another epic episode of the LNR podcast. My name is SK, aka Uncle SK. Okay. Yeah, let's debrief, man. Let's get into it. Ninjani niyaphila?
We good.
Oh, and Seba,
On this hot summer day.
Yo,
Hey.
I
When
go
people don't
shoot.
realize
Hey.
we are burning. I'm burning. I'm burning.
And you guys are bringing more hits. Nibahle, man. Hey, what's the
Thank
job?
you. Thank you.
Kiwapi. All right.
Sizela.
We came to shoot.
I wanna le podcast kumnandi mina ngidlalela ama t-shirt nje vele ningitshele phela ukuthi sesihlala
Yeah, but I think green was the order of the day. Fifi, what happened?
Mina
Yeah.
in my fabulous.
She's back.
Awe. So guys,
What did you talk
Ntshangase.
about last week? Sorry. Just
yeah.
to recap,
Oh,
because
manje
Mrs. White.
What did we talk about?
We spoke about Mrs. White.
Oh, Mrs. White.
Mrs.
No,
White.
nama standards lawa
Standards.
are crazy
Standards.
standards.
A Rolls Royce or girl, and SK was like, not here, not in
From
this
who?
lifetime. From a man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
from the problem yami. Okay, I explained. I don't know good benkhuluma one. The problem is not Rolls Royce ukuthi uyayifuna, but uyifuna to a random guy, any random guy. That's the thing. If we
Okay.
uyifuna endodeni yakho, any indoda yakho can afford it, no problem. But now it's the mentality leyo ukuthi imqondo all over the place ufuna but anyways
Anyways, Miss White, I just wanted to know.
Let's watch it.
I'll watch it.
but
Sure, watch it.
kule viki ke khona kunye okushisayo bafethu.
Guys, like, have you ever noticed, like, there is something always trending in
Yeah.
SA? Like,
Crazy.
week in, week out, there is something that is always trending.
Yeah.
And-
But it goes to show, Guti, I mean, social media is so fast-tracked and no more trend. Like, kuzondlula. I think that's
Yeah,
for
because
me, it's that, like,
esaqala ngayo, like, we're done, sikhohliwe ngayo.
Right, exactly.
Like Mrs. White, done and
Done.
dusted.
asikhohlwanga ngayo ubonile sebamjikela
Bayamjikela because y'all thought she was, you
Yeah.
know, the angel.
Oh,
that fell from
uyanijikela.
grace. Yeah.
Uyanijikela.
I think isijikelwa imqondo yethu because ngendlela engibona ngayo 2022 she was doing almost the same things agqoka ngale ndlela agqoka ngayo aveza lento ayivezayo. It's just that thina sabona that small
The
clip
portion.
Yeah, and y'all
angithi-
decided.
ukuthi
And y'all
that's the
assumed.
pinnacle of
Yeah,
Woman.
of a woman.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys came back and apologized. Very big of you guys to do that. Very big.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, it goes to show ukuthi sometimes they're not as they seem. Those sibona ku social media and
That's exactly
sikujabulele.
what you guys meant to say.
But yeah, this week it's crazy. Ubani Ntshangase. Ntshangase shaky what? Who's the wife?
Nozipho.
Nozipho,
yeah.
yes, Nozipho.
Apparently she's on Showmax Mommy's Club. I think
Yes.
I watched the first season.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish the first season. I never got to watch. There's a second season, right?
Yeah,
so
I think
never
she's
got
on.
to watch.
I don't know.
Angazi noma ufike as a add-on or something, or she was part of the.
I've
The
no
original
idea.
team.
cast.
She was part of it. Okay.
I'll be honest, I've never watched it.
You've
Okay.
never watched it? Okay, at least I attempted to watch it with the Mpumi Mops.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's the only person I know on, on the cast. But I never finished the first season.
Yeah.
Didn't even get to the second season. So, Nozipho namang maz.
Yeah. So Nozipho, ziyabuya lapha. So we saw the video going around. The man, ubani was Babu Zola,
Yeah.
Zola Ntshangase,
Yeah.
the husband. Ushiya kwasana akafuna ukuzwa umsindo ingane uyishiya kwazana. And it's actually heartbreaking when you look at the video. Even though maybe there's a story behind the story, but
Yeah.
what we saw on that video was heartbreaking because even ingane, I look at those toddlers laba abancane bona they don't understand bayavalelisa
Bye, Daddy.
yeah
That broke my heart,
Yeah.
actually. That's the
It was
part where I almost cried.
sad.
I'm like,
That's sad, you know,
Yeah.
because they absolutely have no idea.
What's
they have
what's
no idea what's
happening.
happening.
Yeah.
And I think my feeling on the whole video
yeah
was, couldn't we have a more private conversation?
yes
Because I feel like, you know, sometimes we underestimate how the little things will affect our children in
Yeah.
the long run.
I love what you're saying because that's the very same thing I asked myself. Why was there a video that was taken during a very heated private thing that was happening in Kaya?
Yeah.
And how did it end up being on social media?
Yeah. I think maybe for the video to be taken, how maybe I would think
Yeah.
or justify it or
In
whatnot,
case anything
is that,
happens.
yes, is that a lot
Okay.
of the times when
Yeah.
such things happen, things can get out of hand,
Yeah.
and you want to have the evidence. You
Yeah.
can see, okay, this is what transpired.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
how it got on social media.
yeah
Lord knows. But Mina, for me, I think more than anything, more than the parents, more than him leaving, more than more than anything there, I think what broke my heart the most was that the kids
Yeah.
are witnessing that,
All of this.
even to the little ones, you know,
Yeah.
though they don't understand much,
Yeah.
but they will get the gist of the story. And remember, whatever is online stays there.
Yeah.
It's going to be there for a very long time. And they will...
it will affect
Yeah,
them
it will affect them. To the young,
Yeah.
to the young boys, la baba la payana, the young men,
Yeah.
it's already affecting them.
sure
To beg your dad like that to
Yeah,
stay.
because that's what I
Yeah.
want to ask you guys. What really stood out for you in the video? So it's that part.
Yeah, it's that part, and the fact that like they were begging.
Yeah.
And another thing is, okay, we can look at it and say, why are the boys getting involved
Yeah.
in conversation with
Yeah, but
adults?
yeah.
But number one, the adults are having a conversation in our midst, an argument
Yeah.
in our midst. And you know, Gutsi, ama boy kids banjani when it comes to their mothers.
Sure.
So kunalento leyo Gutsi, dad is not protecting her in this moment.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to step in and protect her.
Yeah.
Or maybe we need to rationalize no baba. Because more than anything, another thing that I loved about those kids was, even though they were interfering, they were very respectful.
sure
They were not...
Were they though?
Even at the end,
Because I feel like
let me
Okay,
finish.
Yeah.
Because even at the end, the boy said, Baba, we're just asking, can we sit down? We're being respectful. Like,
Yeah.
he even said, like, he literally said, we're being respectful.
Yeah.
We
Cela
asking
sihlale phansi
nicely.
sikhulume.
Cela sihlale
Yeah.
phansi sikhulume.
Yeah.
You know, I think the part where people say they were disrespectful is the fact that bangeni indaba zabantu abadala. But I think for me, it's you having an argument in our midst. And ekugcineni, he's like, but Baba, we're just
Yeah.
asking, which parts are we being disrespectful? We're just asking, ukuthi sihlale phansi sikhulume.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, I think just that whole situation where kids need to navigate a argument yabantu abadala it stood out for me, and it broke my heart.
I now that you're putting it like that, I totally understand it, right? Because I like, we don't know the full story, and I feel
Yeah.
like the rest of us are here
Definitely.
speculating and assuming things. I felt like there were angazi kunoma or angazi uma uphathwe family or uma osebenza laphaya, who at some point was kneeling down begging Ntshangase not to leave, right? I felt like that woman, instead of trying to make this guy leave, how about skipping Ganila? Kids, go to the other room.
yeah.
You know, let's not have the kids witness this. You know,
Yeah.
kids, ngicela sinike umama nobaba space. Let's go to the other room, because ngifile ukuthi the way he also retaliated towards the kids, he deemed as if ngathi they were being disrespectful. You know, ngathi manje bangena indaba zabo, because I understand what you're saying. Ukuthi already the argument was happening in the midst of them. Of course, Nami, I would be like, Dad, calm down, you know. And now my dad would take as if ngathi, why manje ungena indaba zethu? I
Yeah.
felt like it could have been someone who said, oh, ayome kancane, kids, please leave the room.
Okay. Asibuyiseleni kancane emuva ne. Let's step back just a little bit ne. According to you guys, where did this whole thing start?
See,
In
that's
your
the
understanding.
thing. I don't know where it started, but you know what's just going around on social media. Because when you kind of look at Nozipho's Instagram, Zola Ntshangase looks like, you know, a very loving husband.
Yes.
A husband who's been there, you know, for the family, for the kids and everything. So we're not too sure whether it started when he had, you know, requested him wanting a second wife, or vele they've been experiencing marital problems.
Sure.
Did he request a second wife?
But that's the thing, which we don't know whether uye waye request and ukuthi requesting ngendlela eright. Was it something he's always wanted, you know, or it's something he just said, no, okay, it's been 10 years. I mean, we've got 8 kids, you know what? I'm now resonating to this young woman who I feel alive when I'm with, and therefore now I want a second wife, because we don't know how it
Yeah.
is, because I feel like also men need to also start being honest when it comes to polygamy. There's nothing wrong with polygamy. I'm not going to say here I think we all have different preferences when it comes to it, but I feel like men in the beginning of the dating stages, while you and I are in a relationship, and this, if it's what you really want, put it on the table. Uguti kungenzeka ukuthi as in I'm dating you, I love you, and I really do want to marry you, and I am going to marry you, but kungenzeka ukuthi ngifuna isithembu. Then we dissect it there. Okay, what is the, because I want to ask you questions.
Sure.
What is the reason ukuthi ufuna isithembu? Is it into yayini, into yayenziwa your forefathers mhlambe? Is it the fact ukuthi ufuna mhlambe ukukhulisa isibongo saka Ntshangase? Is it the fact that you also want, you know, a lot of kids? Or is the fact that you love this woman? Because there's that as well. And I feel like men are normally not honest about the fact that, hey, I've now since developed feelings for someone else,
Yeah.
for this woman. So then I'm going to make me understand what is the reason behind this temp. Then ngizohlalalana ngithi mina, okay, it's fine, let's do this.
I think I like what you're saying, Guti. Say it in the beginning,
Yeah.
so that you don't come 5 years
Or
later,
10 years
10 years
later.
later into the marriage and say. And I think the problem with that is, Uguti, you are denying me to make an informed decision about my life by feeding me what you know I want. Meanwhile, you know, Guti,
What
at a
exact-
later stage,
yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
might be possible. You understand? Because at the end of the day, we're gonna talk about it. It's okay. Mina, I mean, if I'm making a commitment to you, I'm saying you and you alone until death do us part.
Sure.
That's the covenant that I am having with you. You know, I'm not expecting Uguti 10 years down the line you're going to now be telling me Uguti
You fell in love with
you
the
fell in
wolf.
love with whoever, right? Fine. And also I understand Uguti, as much as someone might fall in love with someone at a later stage in life and whatnot, and like you were saying, Guti, what is the reason for a polygamy? I feel like polygamy now is not done the way that it was usually done, or like it's not. It's temp with the way it's manje. It's not how it originally was.
Yeah.
From my knowledge, and you correct me if I'm wrong. From my knowledge, and I think Ayanda Boroto
Yeah.
once made a video about
Yeah.
this. Uguti, Istembu back then was SK coming to Usesiwe and saying, God forbid,
Put it
Coming
there
to the
boldly.
date. Right, going to
Sesiwe.
Sesiwe, going to Sesiwe and saying, look, ngiyabona ukuthi okay, la ndlini ngathi kudingeka 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and ngibona ngathi maybe it would be a good idea for me to get a second wife,
Yeah.
right? So ngicela wena ungifunise somebody that you are comfortable with. Obona ngathi that person will align with lento eyenzakalayo la endlini, or with the way that the household is
Yeah.
already.
Based on the reasons that
Based on the
seen.
reason that he has
Okay.
given.
Yeah.
Not Uguti yena
Automatically.
go and falls in love with Fufu and cheats with Fufu, and then comes to Sesiwe and says, well, I found somebody that I love,
Yeah.
and now I'm proposing Istem. But that is unfair. But Istem was for her, Sesiwe, to say, oh, okay, I do understand what you're saying. Ngiyabona la na la na la na la. I think I might have someone in mind. Then Sesiwe uyagu Fufu and says, this is what my husband is proposing. And Mina, I would love I would love for you ukuthi ube yini umnakwethu. That's what you said.
Yeah.
I would love for you ukuthi ube umnakwethu. And then you agree or you disagree. If you don't agree with it, she's going to look for somebody
For
else.
someone else, yeah.
But it is her who's going to search for somebody who is compatible with the family structure at the time and who's going to be able to fulfill the needs zala endlini. Not what is happening
right now. But has
right
it
now.
always been done like that? Because even if the way you're explaining it, you know, in that way, has it always been done in that way? And has it always functioned in that way?
I feel like somewhere along the lines we miss
Yeah.
the purpose of why
Of
Ito
isithembu.
originated. And then even besides its term, like there's a lot of things that happen that we miss la ibuya khona.
Yeah.
And then we want to do it our own way.
Say
But
modernize
really,
it.
if you're in a marriage and there's nothing that's lacking there, it's tembusapi. Now it's all for your own desires.
Yeah.
You know?
And your own benefit
And
as a
your own
man.
benefit as
Yeah.
a man, you know? Even when you look at like why women stayed back then in marriages where men were cheating.
Yeah.
Because it's something that now it originates from Dala,
Yeah.
you know? But now now we have this thing of like women cheat, women are trash, women, you know, all of that. But you don't understand, Uguti, when we look at the way that the world is structured now and how it was back then, it's so different. In those days, like your wife, uhlala endlini,
Yeah.
and all you have to do is bear kids, look after them and whatnot. And then indoda yakho will go wherever, Egoli, whatever, to go and work.
Ayasebenza, yeah.
And magafika lena, he's gonna find somebody else, build a family, whatever the case might be, right? And you will have the knowledge of that magabuya, or when you find out, or whatever the case, or whatever the case might be.
Or sometimes if I'm not shonile, like to
Yes.
and has a entirely different family.
But you were
in
not
another province.
empowered.
Yeah.
Back then, women were not empowered. So now you're sitting there with 8 kids. And you're like, ngizohamba kanjani? Mele ngiwondle ingane. I
Yeah.
can't work as a woman.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck. It's fine. As long as azokhona ukuthumela imali and my kids are okay. Because I can't raise these kids alone. So it's okay. It's acceptable. So a lot of the times from there, it was
Yeah.
that made women accept Uguti. Well, it's fine. You can cheat.
Yeah.
But now you have a different pool of women who are empowered, who's able to say, I don't choose that for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm conscious of the fact that my health affects my children. You know, my mental health affects my children. So I will leave and I'll fend for myself. Ngizobona, I might not have it all, but I can work, I can start a business, I can, you know? So women won't stay now. So all I'm saying is there's a history behind things.
Yeah.
And we miss it somewhere, and we want to justify it.
Okay. So yes,
Ntshangase.
yes, how I see it. Kubaba Ntshangase, ne? Ntshangase, okay, let's take it back. This is what we're gonna talk. Okay, sizokhuluma according to the information that we have. Right?
Now, yes.
There's more that happened before Sibazi in the
Yeah,
first place,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
But if maybe we are wrong, Bonaba, okay, this is the statement or whatever. Okay. Now Ntshangase meets this woman, Nozipho. Nozipho comes with one child.
One child, yeah.
One, ne? And then Ntshangase came with 4.
With 3.
Is it 3?
So it made it 4, and then they had 4 of their own, so it became 8.
Right. So Bafika, they get married, nan. Things happen. I don't know ukuthi wenzakalani. I don't know reason yakhe yokuthi afuna unkosikazi wesi-2 ukuthi yini. Possibly let's look at a scenario, practical scenario. Nozipho has kids now, and it's what happens normally in a lot of marriages, a lot of relationships. The wife becomes so devoted to raising the kids, anigi attention to the kids, and forget about the man. That's scenario number 1, right? Scenario number 2, the man sekaningane lo mama, then the man does not feel so attracted ngale ndlela bekafila ngayo in the beginning. Scenario number 2. So we're looking at both parties
Possibilities.
now. Yes. Sharp. Then the man comes and say, I'd like to believe ukuthi uzile wamtshela ukuthi Nozipho sengifuna ukuthatha unkosikazi wesi-2. Nozipho wathi no, that's not what
We discussed.
yeah, that's not what I signed up for. I cannot do that. The man uya ngenkani ngendlela engibuka ngayo uthi ke yazi kanjani, I'm going to go ahead and take this woman whether uyavuma or not, right? Sharp. Now the conflict nema problems aqala ke manje. The man according to what we know, the man is in a process of the lobola negotiations or whatever.
So he's
now,
basically taking a second wife.
Yeah. Whether we have umamkhulu or not, we have mthatha. So those conflicts, I think, affects the whole family. Nabantwana babona ukuthi umama akekho right, because I think I was watching this episode where Nozipho was explaining and umntwana ingane. I think it's their daughter. I'd like to believe. Now she's affected. She was crying on the show. Then you see together there are a lot of cracks with this marriage. Now sesiyabona ubaba lo on the video ufuna ukuhamba. We don't know ukuthi ikalephi before afuna ukuhamba.
And
maybe
what's the reason for him on wanting to leave?
Yeah. Possibly on that day it wasn't even the fact that he's going to amalobolo. It might be that as well ukuthi he wanted to go ngengane ayolobola the following day, because there are a lot of stories going around. Sharp. Let's say bekafuna ukuhamba and remove himself from, maybe there were fights between yena nonkosikazi, or there were some disagreements or whatever. We don't know ukuthi iqalephi leya. Sharp. But what we see, bags indoda ifuna ukuhamba, ifuna ukushiya kwasana. The unfortunate part and what is wrong, that njengoba usho ukuthi yonke lento le it's happening in front of ingane. Ubaba akafune kuzwa msindo, ingane ziyamncenga, the boys. I don't think ukuthi ufile, okay, it might be we cannot disregard my feelings wakhe ukuthi ufila disrespected,
yeah.
We cannot do that. But ingane lezi, I didn't see any or hear anything ukuthi zithi ziyam disrespect ubaba, right? I feel ukuthi ziyamncenga ukuthi baba akuhlalwe phansi akukhulunywe, why are you doing this? Yena babuza ukuthi ngobani nini. They still say ukuthi kena siyingane zakho, we want to talk, right? So these kids are trying to mediate between umam, because obviously they're
trying to calm their dad down.
Exactly. Which don't go.
From what we see.
Yeah, don't go. It's more especially ingane ikhulele emshadweni. It's very difficult to start a new life yokuthi umama nobaba they're no longer together. It's very difficult. It's the life they don't know, right? Sharp.
But wait, hold on.
Yeah.
It's a life they don't know. I totally understand.
Sure.
And any into blended families are difficult on their own.
Yeah.
You know, having to be a blended family, we have, you know, our own kids as well.
Sure.
You having to raise kids that
Yeah.
I'm also needing to be a mother to kids that I didn't give birth to. That's difficult on its own. Also, I think we women tend to overlook that thing there where we fall in love or want to be in a relationship with a person who has 3-4 kids. Maybe let me find out from you.
Yeah.
Why do you have 4 kids? What happened? Is it different mothers? Were you married before? What's the reason for you ending your marriage? Because as we see a man who says, listen, I like you, I love you, I want to marry you, but I come with 4 kids.
Yeah.
But because we are just so swept away by this man, we don't ask all these important, relevant questions. What happened? You know, how's the relationship with you? What happened? This is what I'm getting myself into. When such things start happening, it shouldn't be a shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
When now this very same person now wants to leave me with now 8 kids, including the 4 that I gave this person, and wants to find, another woman, because now history has history has a way of repeating itself. So you also need to find out the core reason of why you are not married to the mother of these kids.
So it's basically
what happened,
understanding the person.
Understanding the person that you are now getting into a relationship with, the person that you are going to get married to.
Yeah.
Because also that it's a huge adjustment, guys. A major adjustment.
But yes, I agree. So
I sense a bat coming along.
However, I hear you. It's important to understand because now uzongena njenga lo nkosikazi omusha seeing that video should
Yeah.
raise something. ukuthi
Yeah, because
this man-
you're young.
Yeah.
You don't have kids.
Sure.
This man is marrying you. This man is going to want kids from you.
Yeah.
You know,
I think-
not only you, but you also now are also going to be a stepmother to these eight kids.
Yeah.
I think another thing that we neglect in relationship is the time effect. You meet, and what I mean by that is, you meet someone, manj,
Yeah.
right? But you don't have the foresight of 10 years
Yeah,
from
what's
now.
going to happen?
Right?
Yeah.
Because njengoba umbona manje, you must remember ukuthi this is still the lovey-dovey stages. This person has gone through this stage
Yeah.
with the person that they are with.
Yeah.
That lovey-dovey stage, pink, whatever that you guys are having right
Yeah.
now, he had it with this
Yeah.
person. But what about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now?
Things change.
She's 20 now, 24. Angazi,
Yeah.
omunye uthe 20,
She's
omunye
gonna be
uthe 24.
30
I'm
in the
not
next
sure.
5 years.
She can be whatever, you know. But all I'm saying is, a lot of the times, sibuka izinto sizibukele la sizikhalela.
Yeah, zilaiduze.
Zilayiduze, because it's still starting. Obviously, kuzoba mnandi, right? But this person, I think you mentioned, or was it you, ukuthi maybe it's the fact that he's no longer attracted
Yeah,
to the
to
wife,
the
because
wife,
now,
yeah.
wife sekana bantwana. Aren't you gonna have kids? If you
Yeah.
are going to have kids, you're not going to be the same. Or maybe you'd have to put in effort to look the
True.
same. But at the end of the day, you are going to be a mother as
Yeah.
well to abantwana balo muntu lo who's not finding the wife attractive at this point because she had kids. Like, as not foresight. Like,
And I
we
think
don't.
that's also what men don't understand, because men think that relationships and marriages will still be the same way
same.
when we met
Yes.
7 years ago. Like, number one, we evolve. You know, now we are married. Now we are not talking, you and I, where we're planning the next trip. We are talking finances. We are talking kids. We are talking school fees. Everything, even the language has entirely changed, right? And maybe I might not excite you like I did when we were dating, because now I'm no longer a girlfriend, I'm a wife.
I'm a wife.
Yes.
Now I'm focused on more and
I'm a
bigger
mother.
things. Now, how are you finding me unattractive and boring as a wife? And why are you not being a man and coming to the party and helping me, you know, set up this household
Yes.
that you wanted?
That's what they usually say. Ukuthi cultivate the land that
Yeah.
you're on.
I don't.
Work on what you have instead of going.
Part of me thinks ukuthi the guy is not necessarily not attracted to her anymore. Because he wants.
I need to. We were
he doesn't-
giving scenarios.
Yeah. But
Yes.
now that I'm thinking about it, he didn't say, I don't want you anymore, go. I want a second wife. What's the reason? We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the statement askipilo. Ubano ufunda kancanywana. Mina ngaphela unyaka ndoda.
Niku Fufu's on radio.
Just
Yeah.
because
Let's go,
I'm on
Fufu.
radio?
Yes.
No, man.
Good.
So the statement reads, I wish to confirm
So it's the statement from the husband.
from the husband.
After all this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is an immediate release statement. It says, I wish to confirm the rumors circulating on social media as true. The Ntshangase family, Kakolisi, in accordance with our traditions and culture, has initiated lobola negotiations with the Mzizi family, and the process is still ongoing and heading towards finality, right? So I have noted the media outroar and backlash misdirected towards the name of my soon-to-be second wife, or Mrs. Misoguhle, if I'm reading that correctly. Yes, and this disparaging remarks leveled at Mrs. Misoguhle tantamount to an unfair treatment, and that is characterized by abuse and stigmatization. So such acts lead to gender-based violence, which unfortunately is disproportionate.
Yeah.
Lekelang bam.
Big nawe. You see,
Big
guys, no, and you know the thing is, when you're on radio, you can't have disproportionately, right?
Yes.
Disproportionately directed towards women within the context of South African society.
Yeah.
I therefore request that we observe the above in our endeavor to prosecute Mrs. Misoguhle in the court of the public opinion without having an account of the full facts in what is still a very personal and sensitive matter. Lastly, I have always loved and supported my wife in all her endeavors, and I continue to do so, this including on the matter of the very same platform that now seeks full nullifier of my role in her life and cast me as a villain and as well as a chauvinist. Bese ekugcineni ethi, akukho isoka elingenasici.
Yeah, ikhulumile lensizwa. Okay, another unfortunate.
Yeah, nesigcineni ke inkosi inibusise nonke
Yeah.
niphume eindabeni zami. That's
Yeah.
basically what he's saying in
Yeah.
a nutshell. Ukuthi inkosi inibusise kodwa ngiyacela bandla phumani eindabeni zami.
bese
Yeah.
ethi ngiyabonga.
Yeah. Ukhulumile uNtshangase
Yeah.
njengendoda ukhulumile uyibekile indaba yakhe.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part about the whole situation is that it's on social media. It's all over the show now. So I feel like nama decisions asazothathwa Nozipho
Yeah.
will asazoba clouded by all these social media things. Lento was supposed to be, it wasn't supposed to be on social media. It wasn't supposed to be in front of the kids. It wasn't
Yeah.
supposed to be short. It was supposed to be a family thing,
Matter. Yeah.
right? Unfortunately, say la. Inkosi ngasibusisa yes kunjalo, but say la and it's something we're gonna
Yeah, we're
it's
gonna
something
talk
we're talking
about
about.
it.
Yeah,
We're
but we
gonna talk about
understand.
it. Yeah.
Because now if Nozipho agrees to this esteem, a lot of people will come and say, why do you do that? You are selling the whole thing out now, Tina. We were supporting you. How could you do that? Because now it's on social media and people have opinions. Nozipho might have mhlambe beyazofika isikhathi lapho athi Marax, it's not that bad, man.
Yeah.
In this tempo. Indoda le ngendlela engiyibuka ngayo, indoda wanted istembu. Nozipho didn't want istembu. Even ingane would
I
have
feel like
followed.
there's so much more to it. Maybe it might have been mhlambe a root issue or root cause, but I feel like there's so much you know, to it
Yeah.
a lot. And I understand the statement psyche, and the statement psyche, it's all protecting now this
The
soon
new
to be
wife,
wife,
yes.
which I totally understand why, because now I felt like the entire South Africa social media went and attacked her as a person who warmed her way into marriage. And yes, she might have, but the person who actually opened that door was the man.
Yes.
And I feel like society, especially as women, we need to stop attacking the next woman or the other woman, thinking, Guti, they coming and warming our way into our relationships or into our marriages, because men are the ones that actually open the door. It's important to go to wena uthini ku side chick yako about your wife.
Yeah.
Because as a side chick, you are never going to respect unkosikazi if you're not respecting your wife when you are with her.
Yeah.
So men also have a tendency of lying.
Yeah, I finish.
Because ngempela mangabe wena uzofika kumina and tell me that you married, and I'm like, but I don't date married people. And immediately you point out that Fiona, this does that to you. I'm already not respecting this Fiona. Now I'm already have a different, picture of, the type of marriage you and Fiona have, because you let me into it. But I would really appreciate if men want to cheat, it's fine. They are going to cheat, you're right, in their marriage. But be bold enough to say, keep my wife's name out of this.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about my wife. Protect your wife. But I feel like men get into these relationships for the sake of saying, no, we're not happy. No, man, I wish I met you, 20 years before I met her. You make me happy. She doesn't make me happy. And you find that Tuguti, you date this person for 7 years and he keeps singing this tune. Nangu Fiona uyazala, so nengane zo3. In this entire 7 years we've been dating, you've been preaching that. So men need to start being honest, and I feel like it's men who need to protect their wives when they want to, have these extramarital affairs. Don't discuss your wife with this woman.
Gahle, they give you as the other woman the MO.
The MO, the
Gahle,
leeway.
You know
Yeah.
what? It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because I disrespect her. Like, I'm giving you the platform to do the same. I'm not protecting her. Yeah, man.
Because why are we starting this relationship? And the relationship foundation yayo Fifi, now it's based on you as umuntu
As opposed
wesifazane.
to-
Yes,
yes,
as opposed to
both of
us
you.
having
Yeah.
what we are having on the side. But now everything that we are discussing is you. Where's your wife? Angimazi uhambisa ingane. Anyway, as angikho lapho, I'm not going to talk up to her. Uyangikwatisa,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm feeling, oh shame, man, you must be the most miserable man on earth. Come here. So now you understand where this whole thing comes from. And then the next thing, women are going to be the very same woman who's going to be backlashing the other woman and saying, you stole my man. No, your man let her into your marriage. Yes.
Because umlandile.
Umlandile.
Yeah, yazi ibuyela back to lento boyisho nekuthi isicala kanjani isithembu sakho losifunayo. because
Yes.
for all we know mhlambe Ntshangase is it Ntshangase yes uthola ukuthi Ntshangase started this affair then umama wathola now
Yes.
it's twisted because now she looks at it like sekumele ngamukele the side
Yes.
chick now
Yes.
because I think also to what you were explaining about his tempo I think even before it was scenario to scenario ukuthi what are your reasons we understand maybe it wasn't as easy as this is how it should be abanye bebathatha isithembu ngokuthi aqale abe noma mncane egoli abuye introduce kulo already seka nengane mhlawumbe or ingane you understand so it's unfortunate because we don't
Abanye
know
was abakwazi ukuzala. Abanye it was it's I mean its tempo was for different reasons, but the
reasons.
common one was ungabi nenzalo.
Ugabi nenzalo, yeah,
Yes,
and
that
be able
was
to
the
just
common
carry
one.
on the family
The
name.
family name, yes, and that's a lot of women would understand that if I'd put it like that. Back
But
then,
would you like let's say
No.
for instance in Nozipho's case,
hence what I'm saying.
she's
Mina,
got 4 kids.
No. What I'm saying is that I need to be talking about the origins
The
of
original,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So what
yeah.
I'm saying is that a lot of women gave into it back then because they understood ukuthi,
I mean, I can't have children.
I can't have children,
Yeah.
and it's so important ukuqhuba isibongo sa la engishade khona. So then they would accept. But like I said, ukuthi times have changed. We have new calendar.
so if yeah
We
Break everything.
so if well, how about if times have changed nesthembu as follow lesikhathi le ngisho we as people evolve asahlali lapho esihlala khona emakhaya sihlalelo nene so indoda ifika ithi ifuna isithembu with whatever reasons don't you think ukuthi
it must
al-
also evolve with time.
Yeah.
Back to what Fufu said.
Yeah.
Asali isithembu. Sala ukuthi azange ungitshele ukuthi wena there's a
Yeah.
possibility
Oh.
yokuthi you might have
You
isithembu.
might have,
Because
yeah.
there's women who are still accepting of it. Even futhi manje there's this new culture, I don't know what you guys think about it,
Yeah.
of girlfriends being by 2 and they know of each other and they are isithembu to this
Oh.
boyfriend.
yeah I think I saw
I wouldn't personally
Right.
not do that.
So,
Nje,
yes.
mina as umuntu wesifazane,
Ah.
because I feel like I cannot be sharing a man with you when he's still a boyfriend. We can have that discussion mangabe sekuthiwa userious ufuna ukushada, but right now your boyfriend, you need to decide where you stand, what you want, because I feel like men want to use all these things at their benefits. Like how nice is it to have two girlfriends who know each other and
easy
uyazi
to
ukuthi mengaphendula ifonu la naye mengaphendula ifonu la.
No, they take it a notch higher.
Yeah.
Like they go on vacations together.
No,
They it's
honey.
a thing. I've seen it a couple of times.
It can miss
now.
me. No,
So,
thank you.
Hence I am saying ukuthi, the issue. It's not the tempo. The issue is not. It's also not the having one boyfriend need to and going on vacation together. The issue is preference and you letting us know.
Yeah.
Listen, Fifi Mina. Ngithanda ukuba nesithembu but ngifuna ukusiqala la ku boyfriend ngoba senginayo umuntu senginawe and then you agree if you want to, you know. So issue it's not in the. But SK is saying ukuthi isithembu should evolve. It's fine, it can evolve as long as you are transparent about
Also
your
ngendlela right,
desires.
because now what you're explaining to me is like, no, I just feel like men want to have their cake and eat it at the same time, have their bread buttered both sides. But if it's you are now in a relationship with Fiona and you've already decided that you want to marry Fiona, and now you meet me, be able to say, listen, I'm in a relationship with Fiona, I'm gonna marry Fiona, but I want to marry you too. And Fiona is aware of that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Then Mina, I'd be like, okay, because you are serious about it and you want to legalize it, I don't have a problem. Or no, I'm sorry, babes, Mina, I don't think I can be able to handle it as a woman. You guys need to be very honest and transparent. But 10 years later, and you'll be like, listen, I've been, calling Fiona to come help me with certain events and stuff, and I fell in love with her. No, you are not going to bring this woman into my marriage
Yeah.
after 10 years.
So after 10 years, I think the reasons would be different, right? In what way? Let's say mhlambe there are things umam Ntshangase, Mrs. Ntshangase angasakhona ukuzenza. Then siyabona ukuthi kena we need another help. Yes, mhlambe that conversation can be open. But into engifuna ukubuya kuyo before sigcoba. If Nozipho what would you do now? Or yonke lento seyenzakalile, what's your next step?
Okay, I think let me throw this one before
Sure.
we get, because I feel like that one is more of a closing thing.
Yeah.
What I want to find out is from here, like, what do you think Ntshangase should do in terms of the relationship now with the other wife? Because I get manje uyomshada,
Yeah.
ushilo ukuthi yena uyomshada. That's fine. So how should the relationship be like? Do I accept her now and say, oh ngoba sekakhona, let me be nice to her, let me be whatever?
Yeah.
Or is it a her nomndeni wakhe nendoda yakhe makafuna yena and him with me makafuna mina? Do we now expect ukuthi it must be a whole happy family now that it started kanje, well, in our eyes?
Yazi, I don't know. Fifi ihlukile lena. Now it's different because this person is now being brought into the marital home ngokomthetho, ngokulobola. Like now I don't know as a wife, what do I do? Whether I want to accept her or not, she's already part of this family. Into engihleze ngisho ukuthi esikhathini esiningi I feel like kuneyingane ezingazazi obabazo because of a man who cheated, and mina because I'm an angry wife, I'm like ingane yakhe ingangeni la endlini, you know, and already you are not going to be able to have a relationship with your child because I already said ingane yakho ingangeni la endlini. But what am I doing now? I'm continuing enabling you to go see this person you're having this child eceleni because you want to have a relationship with your child, and I don't want you to have this relationship with your child. Enye into enzima, because I feel like as we women sometimes I think we take our frustrations and angers at innocent kids. I understand ukuthi lo mntwana ufike emshadweni, but also I feel like we take out our frustrations and anger on ingane, because I feel like wives should be able to say, okay, sekunengane, you and this person you cheated, that's not for me. Let's see how this child is going to get an education. Let's see how this child is going to be able to bond, you know, with these kids. And I feel like Nozipho is what she should be doing right now. Make sure that there is a relationship, because if mekuthiwa nengane ukele, they need to have a relationship with the siblings. But it's unfortunate that the siblings are now quite older. They'll be like, no, you left our mom to go and find this young woman. Now, how are we expecting to be older brothers and older sisters to the kids that are now coming into the relationship? Guys, I'm a blended families. It's so complex.
I feel like that's a very sensitive topic.
It is.
When it comes to we were married and then you went and had a child outside, and now I must accept that child. I feel like it takes I feel like it takes God.
And
honestly.
it takes a lot out of you as a woman.
I feel like it takes God, because every time I see that child, I'm going to be reminded of what you did to me.
No,
I'm not
even a
saying
matter of
you won't.
adjusting.
I'm not saying Wutsi you won't, or you won't accept them or whatnot. But I also feel like it goes back to what we spoke about 2 weeks ago. Uguti, you've hurt me. Allow me to heal.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the same way, allow me to be able to accept this child. Please don't impose. Like now, because this Swane must come, and now my kids must look over this child and be like, no, right now.
Oh, no.
You know?
It's your husband's
the
child.
Time, it's fine. The time will come for that. But allow me to heal.
Yeah, but your
initial
words shouldn't be angifunde.
Yeah.
Give yourself time to heal. Yes, siyakunika leso sikhathi. But what you said initially, yes, you were angry, but also ayinginike lento ukuthi siyapi, because if you say I don't want this kid at all, I can't accept. Yes, I can understand what you are angry, but I'll come back and say, but let's try.
That's what I'm saying. Allow me to heal. Now we take it in steps. Like, don't come to me right now after the child is born and say, no. Like, at some point in time, maybe a while later, when you've seen, it's okay, like this woman is, she's, you know, she's becoming okay. Things are getting, they'll never get back to normal. Sure. But, you know, things are warming up. Then you can start having that conversation. But also, I feel like how the man reacts to the situation when it's happening.
It's very
also
important.
important.
True.
Because if you're gonna come to me and say, SK, you've cheated, you have a child outside, then saying okay, so what's gonna happen now? Or I'm willing to work on it. I need divorce.
Yeah.
I'm willing to work on it, and I'm asking you what's the way forward. And then you say, "Na ngiyamthanda, nawe ngiyakthanda."
Then that's a problem.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
I love her too, or whatever the case. No, like the way that you
Show
humble
remorse.
yourself and as a man and you show remorse
yeah.
also determines which direction this whole thing is going to take.
Because it also makes you, I know it's always expected for a woman to always be the bigger person in such situations, right? Because I also feels like it also mitigates inkinga yokuthi cheat, because I'm 100% guaranteed that the very same husband ohamba wayolandingana ngaphandle angekaphinda cheat, because of the fact that you were able to bring this child empilweni yakho versus saying, I don't want to be a part of this child's life. And I understand, it'll take a very strong woman and God and a whole lot of healing before you actually decide. But I feel like a lot of kids who are growing up without their fathers, if women were able to say, listen, lengane yakazimu, right? Wakwazimu nami. Mangithi mina ihambi yokhulele engakhuleli kazimu ngichaza ukuthini. How is this child, if it's a son or if it's a girl, how is the son or girl going to be able to raise without engamazi ubabakhe? So I'd also feel like it will also be able to help you control the relationship with the umawengane. Because as much as imawengane vele izoti, no, I still want to communicate with the father of my child. As a wife, you have the right to say, ingane yakhe ihlala la kwami. Anything you need, please run it past by me.
What's the communication for?
Yeah, so kuthiwa mhlambe iyahlala lana or iyeza izovakasha. But I feel like you can always be able to control that and say, right now, I'm not saying I'm cutting the communication between you and the father of your child, but I'm saying anything that is related to the kid, please run it past by me as umuntu, as umama wala ekhaya. Because seeing that ingane yakho inesibongo sakwami. Yeah.
I fully understand that, but I think my point is just grace to the women, because I can imagine if I had to be in that situation, like in as much as, yes, I'll probably end up accepting the child and whatnot, but I also do understand that it's gonna come with a lot of healing and a lot of God.
And I'm in Kuluma right now, and I feel like in that situation, I'm a guns blazing.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
first.
And also, what I'm saying, Uguti, like how you as a husband handles the situation also makes it a bit like it softens the hearts. Uguti, okay, this was a mistake, as opposed to you just being like, oh, what is?
You know,
And also your anger at that moment, it's warranted. It's understandable. It's understandable. Be angry. Take a week. Take months. Be angry. But
maybe in the duration of the entire pregnancy, you're like, what is it that I need to do? You're assessing your situation. Because I think in Atanda minungjele while she's pregnant versus you're like, oh hey, there's a 3-month-old baby and that's mine. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Isithembu si right kulabo basithandayo, isithembu si right kulabo basamukelayo. So we can never judge umuntu othi ufuna ukuthatha isithembu, but in the process it shouldn't destroy families. There should be a discussion between ubaba no mama, ingane zingabe involved ngale ndlela esibone ngayo. Unfortunately, this thing will stay with these kids for a long time. Yeah. And it's affecting them. I don't know kulabafana, because another question ebengizibuza yona ukuthi ungana nomntana wabo or the oldest child, let's say mfana or whatever una 17 18 and ubaba ufuna ukuthatha umntana, let's say una 20 2 years 3 years,
let's like 2-3 years difference.
It also it mess up with the kids mind ukuthi le intanga yami kahle kahle, but ubaba ufuna ukuthatha.
Also, what are you teaching your kids?
Exactly. So it's an unfortunate situation esibona ku social media, but hopefully Nozipho will heal, maybe accept the situation or move on or whatever. But also ubaba must also in the midst of everything, Ntshangase must also protect the wife by all costs. All costs.
Yeah.
As much as a protector, this as you see, we understand Uti, the attack is not towards the wife.
Yeah.
The wife has all the support, but the most
I
important
must
support.
say, I just loved her composure in the video. Like, I'm giving her 10 out of 10 for that. Like, she was so calm. And she was like, no, you're not going to take the call because I need to take the kids
And
to
begangali.
school.
Like,
Yeah,
she
she was
wasn't
not
fighting.
fighting. She was not fighting. She was like, I need the car.
Yeah.
For in verses where someone who had been throwing out her toys, ukuthi, from Saturday morning, you know, she
And
was
I
like,
also feel maybe
need.
that's why the kids felt the need to step in.
Yeah.
man,
yeah.
ukhuluma kanjalo. Let's just say, for instance, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say lobola ngaleso sikhathi. He was just tired of, or maybe they were fighting. Nozipho nendo yakhe, they were fighting.
Yeah.
Then ingane zisesi living room. They see ubaba uphuma namabhek. Ubaba uthi kena, I can't do this. I can't fight with you. I'm going to a
Ngiyahamba.
hotel. Ngiyahamba. And umama uthi kena, you're not going. She's trying to block the whole, why are you going? Because it also happened. Women sometimes, if uphuma, they feel like ubalekela the conversation. Let's talk now. Awuyithathi imoto. Yena uthi kena ngithatha imoto. I just need to remove myself from this situation because there's another situation efana naleyo. Othola ukuthi yenzekele omunye umuntu. Then Nozipho refuses because uthi kena, what are you holding me hostage? Because there's another side esingalazi. That we'll never know.
I
also.
feel like there is a really big side in this whole thing because the way hambing a corner on Ntshangase, it's quite alarming, and it could be mhlambe ukuthi baba ngindaba zesithembu because apparently Nozipho had said no. But I feel like there is something that really triggered him
before
this whole thing in resulting him to want to leave, you know, in that manner. Because I think if you guys can watch the video carefully, there was a time where he was shouting at the kids and he said, "Nihambile na yobamba ma meeting ingekho le." And we don't know what he's referring to when he says that "Nihambile na yobamba ma meeting in my absentia." So something might have, you know, triggered, you know, him being angry in that way. It's just that, you know, we'll never know.
Yeah, no. I feel like ingane lezi, the parents, as much as ngithi uNtshangase must protect the first wife. Yeah, they must, both of them. Umama, the first wife must protect the kids by all costs. As in Shilo uthi, uneni man, why not angathathanga ingane?
But also, guys, like, is it the responsibility of the nanny?
No.
Because
not necessarily, but I understand.
Yes, because if you parents,
Sure.
you are the first ones that see ukuthi this situation is not conducive. Yes, and then you say, "Anti ngicela uthatha abantwana." That's usually the instinct, you know. Ukuthi anti thatha abantwana.
No, you're 100% right.
So
you're 100% right because auntie maybe nayo or no mama was hoping ukuthi ubaba will come to understand ukuthi awunengane zifuna ngihlale awuthi ngihlale. Maybe that's why they just let.
Also again, guys, do you think it's just a coincidence ukuthi the kids wanted to sit? Do you not think ukuthi that's maybe how they solve their issues endlini at times? Ukuthi asihlaleni sikhulume. Like, I know with my dad we do that.
Let's gather around and let's have a discussion on what is the issue.
What is the issue, right? I know with my dad it's Fifi, we sit down. There's we sit down and we abuza. Why did 1, 2, 3, 4 happen like this? Why did, you know? If there's a serious issue that they've had no mama that is going to involve us at some point, there's a conversation, hlala phansi, and it's la endlini kunendaba so. What do you guys think about it? Or ubaba uzokwenza so. So I feel like also it's not, I feel like it's not so much of a coincidence that the older ones were saying asihlale phansi sikhulume, because I don't think you would propose to hlala phansi and khuluma.
But also I feel like, you know, in that situation, Nami, you know, growing up, you know, living with two parents who were, you know, married, there were times where you would hear arguments and you'd feel like you just want to get up and be like, guys, calm down, you know, but also in the midst of me being a child at that time, you know, you realize, no man, and also once you have said, dad, calm down, or mom, calm down, inking I am is that once we resolve the issue, you're now the problem. Why when you know? So I felt like there could have been someone who said, Ntshangase wo ngicela siphumele ngaphandle sixazulule lenkinga, or someone takes the kids out. But I also acknowledge what you're saying ukuthi into ejwayelekile eyenzekala endlini. This is why the kids were just so posed, because the one who was taking the video was like, no man, like asilwi nawe, calm down. And I felt like she said that in a very disrespectful manner. You know, this is why Ntshangase was so quick to tell her to shut up. Because the way Shonga Kona was like, no man, we're not fighting. Why? Relax, calm down, asili nawe.
There's a story, a deeper story than we
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
kwe yonke into, even if there's a story, but let the parents, mhlawumbe the situation that is way out of hand now, but seyindlulile into ebekumele eyenzakalile sekwenzakalile, but for the other parents, let's protect the kids. Thatha ingane niphumele ngaphandle or fight ngale ndlela enifuna ukulwa ngayo, but don't involve the kids ukuthi manje senizama ukuthi nivimbe ubaba or ubaba.
Ndiyalimazana this thing,
A
because I
lot.
feel
Crazy.
like parents are also not cognizant of what this does,
Yeah.
you know, to the kids. I mean, kunabantwana abafundayo, it damages you as
Yeah.
umntwana. Now
That's
you
what I'm
can't
saying.
concentrate in school. Now you're failing your grade because of what's basically happening, you know, endlini. And parents are feeling like, no, it's a family, we'll sort it out in the family. But you don't realize the damage you are actually doing to the kids by not, you know, removing yourselves from, you know, ukuxabana kwenu phambi kwengane.
Yeah. Crazy. We've debriefed. Says right, sibe grand. Guys, angazi, is there anything else? And funa keep esifubeni. But yeah,
No.
the takeaway from the whole situation, I feel there's a deeper story behind the whole story.
Yeah.
Because yes, ikhona isithembu. Mhlambe sithina sesingayithatha sibambe laduzane, on the surface it is isithembu.
Yeah.
We don't know why is afune isithembu asazi. Mhlambe ukuthi nje vele uyibona ukuthi ngumzulu onke, mhlambe he believes in isithembu.
Yeah.
We don't know. Mhlambe
Yeah.
there's something uNozipho ayenzile of which triggered the whole situation. Or bona they were fighting, it triggered the whole situation, but the video starts when the guy is fighting. Maybe he was fighting back or whatever, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yes.
Yeah,
All we see is the
everything.
glimpse,
And I
guys.
mean, I really understand the statements like when he tells us to butt out, because we don't know.
And it is a family
Yeah,
issue.
it's a family
It is a
issue.
family issue that
Like,
happened to
we
be
don't
on social
know
media.
what happened, because now we are all speculating. Omunye bakhalela Nozipho, omunye now are attacking the soon-to-be wife. Omunye are also now degrading him as a man. Like, we really don't know what transpired, and I feel like in situations like this, maybe we need to really butt out.
Okay, subscribe, like, sale kahle. Bye.
Share. Bye.